Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to this cuEngage session on how to reach members through video marketing. Today, we're very lucky to have Access Credit Union's marketing manager, Dominic Casey, that's the man behind those Don't Be a Banker videos, as he walks you through video marketing for the modern credit union. In this session, Dominic will talk about the video marketing strategy for Access Credit Union, including the history of how they started producing their videos in-house, and there'll be lots of great content as Dominic walks through some of those videos with you and importantly, their results. So before I hand over to Dominic, can I ask that everyone mute your mic just to avoid any background noise? And if you do have a question, feel free to pop it into the chat bar and we'll cover it off at the end. So Dominic, I'll now hand over to you.
Oh, very good. Thanks so much, Emma, and thanks so much for the opportunity to present this morning. I think cuEngage is a great forum. It's great that it's open to all credit unions across the board. So thanks so much for this opportunity. So hi everyone. You've been great in the setup for all this stuff. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. As Emma mentioned, my name is Dominic Casey, and I'm the marketing manager for Access Credit Union. And we've been doing videos now, I guess, since 2015 or 2016. So we're far from experts, but we do all our videos in-house. And I hope this morning, by sharing some of our tips and tricks, you might all take away some nuggets of information that might be helpful or useful for you guys in the future. So I suppose a bit of context, I have a very detailed map here of our location. So as you can see, we're based down the very tip of West Cork. We're in our head office.
Dominic, can you share your presentation with us? Actually, it might be on a different screen.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon.
Oh, apologies, that was my fault. I should have prompted you.
It was going so well. Here we go. Now, can you all see my wonderful map?
Love it.
Perfect. Yes. So, as I said, we're based down here in the tip of West Cork. Our head office is in Skibbereen. We were Skibbereen Credit Union, and then in 2016 we merged with Bandon to form a Skibbereen and Bandon Credit Union. And then in March 2020 we changed our name to Access Credit Union. And then 6 days later went into lockdown. So we never had any time to sort of celebrate the change of our name or anything like that. But now we're Access Credit Union, and we're trading away happily down here in West Cork. And I guess my role within the credit union then as marketing manager is to build awareness, obviously, of the products and services, support our community activities, and increase online inquiries. The holy grail for all of us, I guess, who are involved in marketing. And with that in mind, I suppose creating content is a big part of my job. And as Bill Gates famously said way back in 1996, content is king. And I think video is definitely king of content at this stage. And so just some of the stats around video and why it's becoming so important. 97% of marketers claim that videos help consumers understand products. 90% of consumers claim that video helped them make purchasing decisions. And over 80% of all web traffic in 2021 was some form of video. So the stats really speak for themselves. Video is really, really important now. And I suppose in terms of video content then and creating video content, we have to be aware of how you create a good story. Casey Neistat is someone that I follow, and he's a wonderful creative mind around creating little simple videos. And story is king. And in order to create a good story, I suppose you have to kind of understand the format of creating a good story. Now, by no means are we creating Hollywood videos down here in West Cork, but we're always trying to get a good concrete foundation for all our videos. So Act 1 is the setup, Act 2 is the conflict, and Act 3 is the resolution. And that's always the same. Even if you look at, Shakespeare to Hollywood videos, typically Act 1, if you think of something like a rom-com, Act 1, boy meets girl, everyone's happy. Act 2, the parents don't like the boy or whatever, and there's big conflict. Act 3, they elope and get married and they live happily ever after. That's the conclusion or the resolution. Or if you go down Shakespeare route, Act 3, they commit suicide. Well, whichever way you like to go, that's the basic format for any good story. And it's been used throughout the industry, plays, novels, videos, movies, across the board. This is normally the three cornerstones you want to make for a good story. And as I said, it's a process of evolution. We're by no means at Hollywood standards, but we're trying to improve, and every video we do, we try and learn and improve and grow, and then we repeat. So in terms of video content then, I suppose we started, Donald, our former CEO, Donald sadly passed away back in September of this year, but Donald was madly interested in marketing and really enthusiastic. And he called me into his office, I'd say back in 2015. He knew I had a camera because I was interested in photography. And he said, Dominic, we have to start doing videos. And really, I was terrified of the prospect. I had never shot a video in my life. I had never edited anything. But he, you know, being Donald, he kind of kept pressing me on. So we had a great opportunity with Rio, with Gary and Paul taking part in the Rio Olympics. And we started with just a simple GoPro. And I'll just show a few seconds of this really, because it goes on for about 4 minutes. But this is footage of, we invited people in back in the good old days when you could invite people in. And we had our credit union full of supporters for the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and ultimately the final. So
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright.
So I won't play all of that because it just goes on. It gets louder and louder. So there was great excitement, and when they won the final, my God, I never heard such deafening noise in my whole life. The whole place just erupted, and the excitement that day in the building was incredible. And we captured all those little clips on a little GoPro, and I edited them together then in a little software package called Filmora, and that was my first kind of delving into video. But from there, I got to taste it very quickly, and I saw the potential in it very quickly. So the next thing we kind of started thinking about then was sort of ads and how we might use a little bit of video content to support our ads on social media. And so one of the first videos we did in that regard was this car loan video, and you'll see a lot of car loan videos. I'm sure like all credit unions, car loans are really important to us. So this was our first attempt way back in 2017, early 2017.
We have fast credit approval. All decisions are made swiftly and locally, and not by someone sitting in an office in Dublin.
Having cash in hand means you can choose the car you want and where you buy it from.
We have the most competitive rates with no hidden costs or penalties for early payback.
Our application process is easy. You can do it online, over the phone, or in person with someone who knows your name.
Don't get tied into something you'll regret. We put you in the driving seat. Talk to us today.
You're in safe hands with a car loan from Skibbereen and Bandon Credit Union. I should know.
So we had a brief cameo appearance there by Ryan Price, who was the goalkeeper for Cork at the time, so the whole safe hands comment. So that video, as I said, it was probably one of the first ads that we recorded. It was done standing in front of a whiteboard, and then we overlaid the text afterwards. Simple camera on the tripod, kept it very simple, but it gave us great confidence in that we could start to produce stuff in-house, and it worked really well. We got a great response. In the early days, back in 2016, 2017, videos, like we would typically get, 3,000 and 4,000, 5,000 views per video. Back in the good old days when you had organic reach. Of course, that has all changed now. So following on from that, I mean, I love watching YouTube, and I spend hours, unfortunately, in the evenings watching videos on YouTube. And I came across a car loan ad for an Indian bank, and it was a very simple setup. So we decided to try and duplicate it for West Cork. So this is our effort at that ad. Then again, it's featuring Ryan Price, and my son and his buddy are sort of the extras in this as well.
You have arrived at your destination.
Skibbereen and Bandon Credit Union. You're in safe hands.
So again, if we go back to the story blocks that I was showing you earlier, that video consisted of boy has banger of a car. That's the setup. He gets the keys thrown back at him at the car wash. The second scene then is the kind of him deciding to change his car. So we see him arriving back on his new car. The boys are delighted at the car wash. They're fighting to get his keys on this occasion. And then the final scene, the resolution, he's after getting his car over from the local credit union. So loosely, that's my 3-act story. And it worked really well. We got a great response for that. And again, I suppose by using Ryan Price, who at the time had a pretty high profile playing for Cork, it all really helped us. And so from that, again, surfing the internet, and I was aware of these videos actually because I'm a Mac user, I love Macs. The Mac versus PC campaign that Apple Mac did back in the early 2000s. I'll show you this very briefly. It's only about 30 seconds. But again, I just love the setup. It was really simply done. And I thought, all right, we don't have the money or the budgets that Apple have, but we can do something similar maybe.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
Ready to get started?
Well, not quite. Got a lot to do. What's your big plan?
I might make a home movie or maybe create a website, try out my built-in camera. I can do it all right out of the box. So what about you?
Well, first I got to download those new drivers, and I got to erase the trial software that came on my hard drive.
Sweet.
And I've got a lot of manuals to read.
You know, it sounds like you have a lot of stuff to do before you do any stuff, so I'm just going to get started because I'm kind of excited. Let me know when you're ready.
Actually, the rest of me's in some other boxes, so I'll meet up with you later.
So what intrigued me about that is because, you know, they just had a simple white background and 2 characters that were strong on camera. And I thought we could kind of replicate that. So we did 3 videos of banks versus credit unions. I suppose this was maybe 2017, 2018. And we shot the 3 videos in one day on a green screen. So I'll show you one of those now just to show you the sort of the final result.
Hi, I'm the credit union.
Oh, and I'm the bank. Sorry, I was browsing the World Wide Web of bank.
I see.
No, you wouldn't understand, you see. We have very sophisticated technological applications that would allow our customers to access their accounts at any time.
You mean online banking? We have that.
Yes, but unlike yours, ours is for more than just looking at loans and accounts.
Oh, we have full online banking services. Pay a bill, transfer money, print a statement, you name it, we have it. Can I see yours? This is Mario Kart. Can I play?
Terms and conditions apply.
So I guess we're in a fortunate position in that we have Avril Condell working with us. She's our business development manager, and she played the part of the credit union. And then we hired in a guy called Stephen Ryan, who's an actor. He's a part-time actor. He's also he has a doctorate in history, so he lectures in UL in history. He's a fantastic character and a really nice guy to work with. So Stephen came down for the day, and we had Avril ourselves in house. And as I say, this is the setup then, which was a green screen, and I had 4 lights and 1 microphone and a camera on the tripod, and that was it. The lights are very cheap lights. The 2 lights in front there are, I got them on Amazon for like 30 euros or something. They're big soft boxes, do the job perfectly. The 2 bigger lights you see standing up higher, which are illuminating the green screen, they're LED lights. They were about 200 quid, I think. But they're very powerful and you can control them. They're dimmable as well. So that's about it in terms of my kit. I have 4 lights. I probably have 4 or 5 mics at this stage now as well. And I have 2 cameras. And that's my complete entire setup. And we shoot everything really with that setup. And so following on from the banks versus credit unions, which were really successful, I suppose we recently started tying around with the ideas again of what we might do to follow on and do another 3 series of videos to shorter format maybe, follow on from that. So we did a demo yesterday of what we're thinking of doing next. So I'll just show you that now briefly.
Hi, I'm the credit union. Oh, I forgot. They left town.
So we're having a bit of tongue-in-cheek there about the poor banks leaving town. But again, just to show you the setup for that demo yesterday, we just set that up very quickly yesterday for this presentation. But 2 lights and the green screen behind. And very quickly, you can create a very interesting little video. And it's ideal now for the short form reels and TikToks of the world. Very quick, very simple, very easy. Again, I suppose moving on, the next video we're going to look at, is we also do a little bit of animation. I did this animation when we launched the current account credit cards, and it got a great reaction, and a lot of credit unions reached out, and I had no bother in sharing it with them as well. And I think that's the beauty of the credit union ethos, is that, you know, sharing and working together and helping each other out where we can. So sometimes animation can be very handy. You know, a credit card is very, you know, it's very difficult to film a credit card or to create a video around it. So this animation kind of gave all the sort of key features of the new current account, and as I say, it went out very well at the time. So again, it's only about 30 seconds or something long, so we might as well have a look at that. So I guess I have a history in graphic design, so animation for me wasn't a terrible learning curve, but I guess if you're not familiar with graphic design or using Illustrator or those type of tools, it's a bit of a steep learning curve right then. But it's doable. You can buy templates. That is based on a template, and you just add it in the bits and pieces that you want in and refine it to suit your own needs. But it's a very powerful tool to have in the arsenal, right, I guess, when it comes to creating content. And I suppose coming up to sort of what we're at currently, the new campaign that we've launched is Funding Dreams. Now that's nothing new in the credit union world. I mean, dreams, that type of advertising has been going for years. But what we wanted to try and do is sort of re-envisage it. At the time during lockdown, obviously we couldn't have photo shoots or anything like that to launch the new Funding Dreams campaign. So we got an illustrator from Kinsale to do these drawings for us. And again, that's supporting local and supporting someone within our sort of community as well. And the whole idea is here that Funding Dreams will become the cornerstone for all our content. So whether it's doing sponsorship, if it's doing a car loan, if it's doing, you know, a holiday loan, whatever it is, we're going to package it up as a part of our Funding Dreams campaign. And hopefully we'll use that to communicate the message of the credit union to the next generation by using a young contemporary illustrator like Fiona to do a lot of these sketches for us. We're hoping to reach that younger audience and to tell them the message of the credit union, not for profit, community based. All our sponsorship or all our surplus goes back into the community, either through sponsorship or dividends when we're allowed to pay it. And to try and tell that message in a new and compelling way to that younger audience, that younger demographic. So as I mentioned, Fiona was the person who we had become aware of through her posts on Instagram. She was doing a lot of posting during the first lockdown. So we reached out and said, Fiona, would you be interested in helping us to do this campaign? And she was really delighted, and she was really fun to work with and brought great enthusiasm and excitement to the project. So I'm going to play a little video that we used then to start to launch the whole Funding Dreams campaign featuring Fiona.
Hi, I'm Fiona Kangataren, and I'm an illustrator from Kinsale. During lockdown, wanting to keep myself busy and just having a mad year, I felt like I needed to do something different. And I actually went back and picked up an old hobby where it left off, and it was a passion of mine since I was a kid. It was drawing. I made personalized cards for each and every one of my friends, as each and every birthday and celebration and event that got cancelled, postponed, or just something that we couldn't meet up in person to celebrate. And I wanted it to mark something special, that not just that I remembered the date, but just that I see them and I love them and I care, and of course I miss them so much. And I think we're all going through that all at the same time. And so when I shared those images online, it resonated with so many people, and I didn't realize the positive impact that it would have. And it was really powerful. And it was this immediate validation that I was doing something right, that this was a sign of where I should be taking my own career. And then when Access Credit Union approached me about their Funding Dreams campaign, it just felt like fate. And they wanted their community to be represented. They wanted people to be seen, and they wanted to bring people together. And that's what the credit union does. And I just couldn't be prouder to be a part of this project. And at the same time, it's actually made my dream come true of being a paid illustrator. So I couldn't be more grateful that it's going in this direction.
So yeah, that was the video we used to launch it, and that got a great response as well. I suppose a little bit different as well. It wasn't the usual typical sort of community piece or something like that. It was telling about a local artist and her dream of working and getting paid for her work. So it just worked really well for what we were trying to achieve in Funding Dreams. And Funding Dreams has a lot in parallel with, I guess, Super Value and the Real Food, Real People campaign that they ran back in the early noughties, where they sort of highlighted the great suppliers that they had. At the time, they were faced by a huge challenge in that Tesco and Lidl and Aldi had arrived in the market, and they were really finding it hard to compete on price. So they competed on what they were best at, which was community. And I thought that's a great parallel with the credit union. We may not be always able to compete with the rates of the other high street banks or the swanky apps that they have, but we can definitely compete when it comes to community and telling our story of how we support the community and how all of us supported the community. And moving on from Fiona's video, the next video we did in that series then was a car loan. We're back to car loans again. And this was featuring Shane Horan, who lives in the town of Skibbereen, and he did a great little video for us. He got his dream car, which was perfect. He was just after leaving college. He was just started work. He wanted his dream car, came up and done deal. He rang the credit union. He had approval within 6 hours, I think, which is incredibly fast even for our standards. And he was thrilled with the whole process. So he was very happy to do this little video for us afterwards. So this is Shane talking about his car loan.
Hi, my name is Shane Horan and I live here in Skibbereen. I've just finished college and I've just bought my dream car with Access Credit Union. I knew the credit union was the right choice for me. Both my parents have accounts with the credit union and set up my own account. That was good enough for me. And anyway, I know half the people working there. Oh, hello, Mary. Good. I made a simple inquiry on the credit union website. They rang me back the same day and guided me through the process step by step. I didn't need a history of savings. I just needed to show how I would repay the loan. I signed all the paperwork online and the money was in my account the following day. Simple, easy, and support every step of the way. The credit union helped me to fund my dream car. This is my first loan with the credit union. It was hassle-free and I would definitely recommend it to family and friends, even though I don't really have to because my sister's also on a credit union loan to buy that car there.
So Shane was perfect for that video and getting his sister in the end. And Mary Crowley, who works with us, happened to walk out. She lives in the same estate. So, everything lined up that day when we were shooting that video. So it turned out really well. And then just to give you a flavour of what we do in terms of community then, this is us supporting Bandon Athletics Club. They have a massive fundraising campaign at the moment. They're hoping to raise €100,000 to buy their own training facilities. Currently, they just use the town park to train on. And in the winter time, they use one of the local secondary schools. They go indoors to their gym, but they can only facilitate something like 30 or 40 kids at a time, or probably even less now with COVID. So when they started their fundraising efforts, I reached out and said, would you like us to do a little video to try and promote it? Because obviously they're the home for Phil Healy as well. So Phil had done so well coming up to the Olympics and everything. We really wanted to try and help them in any way we could. And they had €4,000 raised when we started and we released this video. And within the week that this video was running and we pushed it out, they raised an extra €1,000. So that was a real tangible benefit to them. And plus, it was great for us to sort of be there to show our support for their great efforts. So I'll just show you this video.
Hi, my name is Denise Harrington. I'm a co-chair of the under 7s. That's the age we start with. Hopefully we can hold on to them for years. It's not just all about running. We do jumps, hurls, shot put. So look, it's a place for everyone. Don't think you have to run. You can try other events over the years. We are really a club that tries to be inclusive of everyone and enjoy ourselves, and we are very family oriented here.
The reason we're doing this, folks, is to try and get support to build our home. We have a field, we need a home. That'll take huge support. Appreciate if you can put your hand in your pocket and give us any donation. It doesn't really matter how small or how big. For the people that have been through the club, you've obviously seen what we have done with you or your children. We need support. Again, if you can either help out in any way, but financially, this is a huge undertaking and we really need your help.
Even more so, the folks that are really going to the Olympics, and 4 members of the club selected yesterday for the European Under-20 Championships, which is a major achievement really. I'm sure Catherine and Billy will be thrilled in heaven looking down to see that.
You know, not all kids go to competition, but we try and have a group who we might run our own little mini competitions without kids even realising it.
So please, we need your support, and again, it will be very much appreciated.
Access Credit Union funding unit.
So there you go. That was just prior to Olympics this summer, and it went down really well. And it was great, like the goodwill you get on the ground for going out and helping, because all of these are voluntary organisations, and all the parents are there helping, helping to train the kids and stuff like that. So seeing the credit union turn up, I suppose I was there for 3 or 4 hours. We shot loads of different clips and put it together, and had a little tribute to Phil in the end. And the kids were thrilled to take part in that. It took about a half an hour to set it up, but it was worth it in the end. And it was lovely, again, as I say earlier, to try and get the funding dreams, to make people aware of the sponsorship that the credit union is involved in. I'm really conscious now in all of these community videos that if we are sponsoring someone, that we try and get a clip like that with the kids holding the check and stuff like that, just to make people a little bit more aware of all that we are involved in. And staying with community, I suppose, later in the summer then, when we had sort of we had the lockdown, and I can't remember which one of these, but this is just at the end of the lockdown, and the towns were reopening and retail was reopening, and we did a series of videos in Scull, Skibbereen and Bandon of the trader associations. And again, these videos went down quite well on social media, but the kudos we really got from the local traders who were trying to help them was incredible, really. The response we got for them was incredible. So well worth our time and effort to do it. So I'll just show you this one. This is for Scull.
Hi everybody, I'm Eddie Piper from the Scull Business Association, and we're so excited. We have all our retail shops open here now, and hopefully soon we're going to have our pubs, our restaurants and our hospitality back. We're here in Scull, surrounded by beautiful villages, Goleen, Ballyhob, Doris, and we'd like to invite everybody to come west to us, and local communities supporting local jobs. We're looking forward to having an absolutely fantastic summer, and we have so much to offer west here, and we look forward to welcoming each and every one of you.
Welcome back. It's great to be back.
Welcome back.
Delighted to be open again. Please come back and support us all here in Scull.
Welcome back to Anibis. We're really looking forward to welcoming you to the shop.
We're back, and it's great to be open, and especially all the businesses on the main street. Slowly but slowly, we'll get there.
Welcome back. We're open and delighted to welcome you.
Doors are open and we're back. Come on west to see us.
We're back open. Welcome back everybody to the Village Boutique. And at the moment there's 50% off all stock.
Went to work school. Ready to go back.
Welcome back. Here's to a great season.
Welcome back everyone.
And I want to make a big shout out to the credit union here behind me. It's been open for us through thick and thin. And what do we do with our credit union here in Scots? And they're always here to support the community.
So there were our little videos there to support the traders reopening. And so as they say, flattery is the great, or imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So about a week after we launched those videos, and as I said, they got a great local response. The Bank of Ireland commissioned a similar type of video, but it was funny because the traders, I was asking the traders afterwards what they thought, and they could really see the banks trying to piggyback on what we had done. Like, so I think that really backfired on the bank and really helped us. So getting there early and trying to, again, being able to produce little videos yourself in-house and being able to react very quickly really helps us, because even if the banks have an idea to do something like that, it takes them a few weeks to get go ahead from Dublin or whatever. So we have it all done and wrapped up by the time they get around to it. So it's great to be able to do that stuff in-house. And I suppose just to sort of finalize things, our involvement in Cork Credit Unions, the marketing group, has been fantastic. And earlier this year, I shared a video we had shot actually in 2017. But at the time, Donald, our CEO, just felt it was too edgy. He was afraid to release it. And we had hired in cahoots a comedy trio from Cork to come down and shoot the video and direct it. And we shot 3 videos at the time, but we held this one back. And Donald always said that we would wait until such times the banks were in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. So obviously during the summer there, when they were announcing closures and pulling out and all the rest, I said, geez, this is a perfect time. But then I thought, rather than us trying to go on our own and to get a better, the community effort again, the cooperative effort, that if we all shared it out, all the credit unions, I think there's about 30 credit unions now in the Cork group, if we all shared it out together, it would definitely get a better organic reach. And it really worked well. So it showed the power of sort of working together and helping each other out. So this is Graham the banker, and I'll play the video very, very quickly, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
I'm Graham from the bank. You probably know who I am. Basically, I didn't meet my targets this month, so my boss sent me to this little kip, probably to scare me as to what might happen if I don't hop on.
Okay, Graham. Probably best just to let these people go ahead, though they were there before you, and look, everyone's equal around here.
Everyone's equal? No, they're not. What about all those important people? The guys with all the shareholders?
Well, you see, in the credit union, we actually don't have shareholders. We're owned and effectively run by our members.
That's pretty rad.
Rad? You've ripped the rad off the wall now and beat over the head with it.
So if we don't have any shareholders, what happens to all the sweet, sweet profit? Party down, is it?
No, not quite. We're not for profit. So that money just goes directly back to the members or into community projects, kind of things like that.
That's unbelievable.
But sure, the banks are very passionate about community projects too, aren't they?
Oh, and you're a good laugh to boot. I nearly think about joining you. Can I use one of your machines?
Can I use your machine? Can I use your machine?
We don't really have machines in that sense, Graham. We just prefer to deal with people face to face.
Face to face? Like you should just smile at them and listen to what they're saying. Hang on now a second. Is this a cult?
Right, that's it. I'll give you a culty and
Decide to switch to your local credit union today, or run the risk of being a complete and utter banker.
So I'm sure some of you may have seen that video. That got a great reaction on social media during the summer. But that was shot way back in 2017, and it was such a wonderful day in the credit union. We had reached out to Tig, who was sort of, you see him here sitting down. He's the Tig Hickey, he was directing that sort of trio at the time. And Brian O'Connor was the video photographer. So Brian, Dominic Casey, and Laura were the 3 actors, but they came with a script person, they came with hair and makeup, and they came with, God, there was someone else as well, I'm sure. There was 4 or 5 came in, but it was an incredible day for me. I learned so much that day just watching how the professionals went about a video shoot. They shot everything from every angle possible. They were very, Tig was brilliant at directing, and like they take 3, 4, 5 cuts of every single shot to make sure they got the right expression on the face or the right type of words were being used, and they constantly change the script. You can hear Caroline here from the screen, so they had all the script done out. They were ready, every single line. They rehearsed every line, then they shot it, then they reversed the angles, then they shot it again. So it was incredible to see professionals, real professionals about their business and how the craft of doing this. But we had great fun as well, and there was great excitement. And Donald, our CEO, as I said, he loved marketing. He was so excited this day when it was like Hollywood coming to town, really. And we had great fun off camera. There was great crack there as well for the whole day. It took them from about 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening to shoot that, 1.5 minute long video. But as I say, we just learned so much, and seeing the process was just so interesting. And so Brian took care of video and audio and treated the 2 very separately. And that was a great learning curve for me as well. You know, audio is so important in video. It's probably more important than actual video quality. You need to get your audio right so people can hear it. So all of these learnings came from that day. And as I say, you know, a very memorable day, and definitely a great video for the credit unions, not just our own credit unions, but like I think the whole nation got a bit of a lift out of it. In terms of Facebook, I think we had 62,500 views. Twitter, we had 80, I think it ended up at 88,000 views. But the incredible thing on Twitter, and you know how Twitter is so full of nasty comments and trolls. I can't remember how many comments are up there, quite a lot, but I think there was only 1 negative comment. Some fella was griping that he hadn't got the loan that he had inquired of. But other than that, all the other comments were so supportive, and you know, I love the credit union and I love dealing with the credit union, all that. So it's so brilliant to see that, especially as I say on Twitter, to see those really positive remarks. So that's something we'll hopefully do more of those types of videos next year as well, and we'll roll them out through Cork credit unions again. And I have some ideas of Graham the banker and how he may come back for round 2, shall we say. And now finally, I suppose the TikToks and the Reels and the stuff that's really new to me. We only started in this, I think in August, September, we tried our hand at it. And it's a completely new genre. TikTok is 15 seconds. I think you can do 60 seconds on Reels, but it has to be really snappy and really to the point. And 15 seconds to try and get your message across is really difficult. For these videos, we used a local influencer that we've been working with. Her name is Isabella Hart, and Isabella has just finished her first year in college when she shot these videos with us. And she has a following of something like maybe 20,000 on Instagram and 10 or 15,000 on TikTok. I can't remember exactly. But she loves shooting these little videos as well, and she's very easy to work with, and she's very happy to come away in and just sort of be directed as well in terms of what we're trying to do and stuff like that. So I'll just show you these 2 little TikToks to give you an idea. So as I say, 15 seconds is really quick. So that was for the student loan, and this one then is for the car loan. So as I say, 15 seconds, really snappy. Really have to be on your toes to try and get your message across. But they went out really well, and I was shocked at the sort of the views that we got. As I say, it was completely new to us to post a reel, but on our Instagram insights, you can see there for the couple of weeks that we were running those, we had a 1,883% increase in accounts reached. So that was incredible for us. Our content interactions went up by 270%, and I think between those 3 videos, we did 3 of them somewhere in the order of sort of 10,000 views. Absolutely, you know, phenomenal for us, because as you all know, organic reach now on Instagram and Facebook has really fallen off a cliff. So we were just thrilled with that. As well as that, Isabella she published these videos on her own account as well. And as you can see there, she had sort of 5,000 for one, 3,000 for the other, and nearly 5,000 again for the third one. So again, massive. It's great. And her audience is very young as well. So it's ideal for us. This is the audience we're targeting. So we were really thrilled with those. And then in regards of our own TikTok account, we're only starting. We have 26 followers, so we have a lot of work to do there. But again, you know, starting off with these little videos, we had 600 views there in the first one and 108 or something in the second one, which is not bad, I think, for someone that's starting from scratch. So certainly in the new year, it's been very busy now with the AGMs and all the rest, but in the new year, we want to get back to trying to do some more of these. We'll get Isabella in and maybe get a few new faces in as well and try different things. But definitely that short format, we just have to embrace it, I think, and try and work with it. And 15 seconds is the limit now at the moment, so we have to try and work within that. Definitely a challenge, but we'll keep trying. So just finally, I suppose to kind of finish off, from my point of view, and as I say, I'm far from an expert, but from my point of view, good foundations for marketing video. It's a good, clear, establishing shot. Keep your messaging simple. I always say, you know, 3 main points, try and get that across. Use B-roll then to try and make it more interesting, and finish all the time with a call to action. And the one thing that I've learned in my time is I can't overemphasize the importance of doing some sort of a storyboard. It doesn't have to be even as elaborate as this. Just when you go out there, that you have a real plan in place, and if there's dialogue, that you have that all scripted and rehearsed before you ever bring out the video camera, and you will save so much time in editing afterwards. And as well as that, you'll have a clearer, more concise message if you take a bit of time to get your storyboard and get your dialogue all hammered out and rehearsed and sorted before you start filming. And so finally, the 3 takeaway points. The best video camera, I'm always asked by people what sort of camera, whatever camera you have, phones, your camera phone nowadays, they're all perfect. Whatever camera you have, the one you have with you, that's the best camera. Sound, as I said earlier, is more important than video quality, so really concentrate on getting good, clean audio. And finally, editing, that's where all the magic happens. And people don't realize how much time goes into editing. Typically, I'm pretty practiced at this stage now, but about an hour per minute if things are going smooth, but it could take much longer. So be prepared. All the hard work is done editing afterwards, and it takes a long time, and there's a curve as well to learn in figuring out how to do it well and how to do it to get across the point the way you want it to work, you know. So that's it, folks. Thanks so much for listening to me, and I hope you've all learned some little bit, and I hope it's been of some way beneficial to you. And if you have any questions, I'm quite happy to try my best to answer them.
Dom, thank you so much.
No bother.
We actually do have a few questions. I have a few points just before we get on to the questions. I love that. I really enjoyed that. As a marketer, of course, I just thought that was excellent, and I'm sure everyone else agrees. A few points for me that I noticed. That video for the banker was created in 2017, and it's still relevant in 2021. And when you play it in 2022 as well and beyond, it will still be relevant. So you've really created a magic piece of sort of evergreen content there, which I think is fantastic. Second point as well, I thought was really interesting, is you worked with the corporate credit unions to get the message out there. And I'm just looking at here at all the credit unions that we have on the call today, and there's really nothing to stop you guys working together, you know, and collaborating on these different types of pieces of content. So I think that's a really important message about working together as a credit union, as a community as a whole.
Absolutely.
And then the final thing as well, is just, I suppose, following on from that, is right now we know there's a huge agenda with climate change. There's a real sort of green initiative. There's a little bit of an anti-establishment kind of movement, which Generation Z very much hold, which is your future target audience, your future lenders, essentially. So there's a real opportunity, I think, for this group to strike, I suppose, while the iron's hot, and kind of spread that community ethos that appeals to that generation now that credit unions have always had. So I'm really excited to see how you take that in with your videos for 2022. So yeah, it was just some points I had there. It's just I thought it was interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess Graham the banker, we started by sitting down around the table, myself, Donald, Christine, and a few more, and we said, what are the key points we want to get across in this message?
Yeah.
And we kind of distilled that list down until we had 3 or 4, you know, community organization, there for the member, everyone's equal, And once we had agreed on that key list, then we sent that to Tig and said, all right, Tig, we want it shot in-house, and these are the key elements we want you to get across. And it's up to you then to decide. And that's how Graham the Banker was born. He decided then that we'd introduce this character as the banker because we wanted to start to highlight the pros of the credit union over the negatives of the bank. So he brought the whole Graham to life then. But it worked really well. And as you say, it's kind of timeless because it's the same issues we're always facing. We're always trying to educate the members, you know, of the differences. But yeah, it worked really well. And I'm really pleased that it worked and it went out across the whole, you know, that we used it under the flag of Cork Credit Unions. I think that's really important because we're all cooperatives and we should be helping each other as best we can.
Exactly. Yeah. So we do have some questions here.
Great.
The first one is from Nikki Murphy, and she said, "Hi Dominic, what software are you using for editing your videos?"
Right. So as I say, I'm from a graphic design background, so I'm quite familiar with Adobe. So when I started editing, I used Filmora, which is a very nice, easy to use editing package, and you'll get into it very quickly. And I think it's something like maybe $70 for a lifetime license. So it's a great package. But now, as I say, because I'm so familiar with Adobe, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's just got a few more elements to it. And like everything, once you get used to one package, you kind of stick with it. So as I'm used to the Adobe software suite, it's handy for me to be able to work in that now. But Filmora is great as well. But there's loads. There's DaVinci Resolve, even iPhoto, is it iPhoto or iMovies on the Mac is free and for editing and stuff like that. You know, so there's loads of them. They're all essentially the same, but that's what we use at the moment.
Perfect, thanks for that. We use a tool ourselves called Camtasia, actually, that works quite well.
Yeah.
But as you say, there's loads there. Yvonne's just saying fantastic video. Jennifer is asking, what was the cost of the video production?
For Graham the Banker?
Actually, that was possibly at that time. Jennifer, I'm not sure. Yeah,
it was for Graham the Banker, yeah, because I seen it come in whilst that was on. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we shot 3 videos with Cahoots that time. I think from memory it was maybe €4,500. But for that we got 3 videos out of it, and as I say, we just learned so much as well.
That's great.
So it was well worth it.
That's really good.
Yeah. No, 2017 is a good few years ago as well. Yeah.
So Philip Lynch has asked, hi Dominic, did the production team write the script also, and just send fantastic video as well? Oh,
thanks very much. Yeah, so we, as I say, we gave them the key points, the messaging we wanted to get across, and then they wrote it. But on the day, Tig, as I say, did a fantastic job acting, but he did an even better job at directing. And every word would be scrutinized. And Donal was there in the sidelines, and they'd shoot it, they'd review it on the monitor, and they say, maybe we'll change that couple of words. And that's how it evolved. And as I say, it was so interesting to see that. But yeah, so eventually, after the course of a few hours, we had sort of the final script and the final. We had a script before they started, obviously, but it got rehearsed and polished as we were shooting as well. So it was down to Tig, really, the wording, but that's where it came from. I hope that answers it. Sorry.
We have a stream that I'm going to read out because they're definitely worth it. Just send. Well done, Dominic. Great work as always. That's from Mark Horgan and the team at Ballincollig Credit Union. We have a guest saying great videos and insights, Dominic. Thank you. With Fiona Cox saying great videos, Dominic. Thanks a mil. Sinead Clark, and thanks so much, Dominic. John Ryan, great presentation, Dominic. Well done. I think it's worth reading those out. Phil Torres. Thanks, Dominic. Great presentation. What is the name of the editing software you use? Is that the Adobe?
Adobe Premiere Pro, yeah.
Perfect. And then Jennifer, great presentation. Thanks, Dominic. Really enjoyed it. Tara, what software do you use for the animation videos? Yes, I wanted to know that as well.
Yeah, so I use Adobe After Effects for animation.
After Effects, so it's part of that suite.
It is, yeah. And then it's easy because, quite often I'll animate a bit of text or something like that, and I can just drag it from After Effects straight into Premiere Pro. So that's why I kind of moved away from Filmora, because Adobe gives me that sort of ease of dragging and dropping from one package to the other. But I wouldn't get tied up on, Premiere Pro is like, I don't know, €70 a month. So if you want to buy the license for the full suite, whereas Filmora is $70 for a lifetime. Like for video editing, it's hard to fault Filmora. Don't get tied up on it.
sounds like you've been doing this for a number of years, built up to it, and I suppose the message is it doesn't have to be the all singing, all dancing. You probably progress to that, and then it could use something that.
One of the things we always say, it's not fit for Hollywood, it's fit for purpose, and you can get caught up in sort of all the sort of the bells and whistles, as you say. Really, what do you need it for? Most of this video content is going to be consumed on a smartphone and probably in the portrait mode, so it's going to be like 2 inches. So don't be getting too head up in 4K and sparkles and whistles and all that. Keep it simple and get your message out there. So the story is most important, not the editing in that regard.
Thanks for that. So we've Anne-Marie asking, thanks Dominic, what is the name of the video production company you used to shoot Graham the Banker?
That was Cahoots, but they've broken up since. So Ty Hickey is sort of the key man, or was the key man there. He's still on his own. So Ty Hickey, you'll see him on Twitter a lot actually. If you search for Ty Hickey, you'll come across him, and you can reach out to him, I'm sure, through Twitter.
I'll I'll find him. I'll do a follow-up email.
Yeah.
And I'll find him on Twitter, and I'll link to that actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So Yvonne, great presentation, well done. Pat Morrissey, really enjoyed that. Dominic, great presentation, Dom, and fair dues for sharing with the Cork Credit Unions.
Yeah.
And Anne-Marie's just saying thank you again. Nikki's asked, hi Dominic, do you use a drone yourself? Or oh yes, I noticed some of those shots. Or do you have someone for the aerial shots? Excellent presentation. That's Nikki.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have my own drone. I actually have 2 drones now, and I use it for photography as well. I really enjoy it, and it just adds another perspective to some of those videos, especially the community stuff when you're out and about. So I use it quite a bit now at this stage. Yeah.
Very good. And how do you find using those? I've actually never used a drone myself.
Sure. It's in fairness, I use a DJI Mavic 2. The thing flies itself. If I can fly it, anyone can fly it. And it's point and shoot, and it does a great job. Really, it's fully automatic. Really, I'd only go into manual mode if I'm trying to do sort of photos and stuff like that. But for video, I just leave it in full automatic. Honestly, anyone could fly a drone. Just stay away from people and don't crash into anything. But it's very useful. It's a great perspective.
Good advice. We have no more questions. We have another comment from Catherine saying, really enjoyed the presentation. Thanks. Dominic, we had spoke about, now this is 2022, but potentially doing some kind of workshop, maybe something we could do in person and potentially stream some of it as well. We'll need to work out the logistics, but I think that'll be hugely beneficial for people that maybe want to take that to the next stage and actually create a video or something like that. So we'll probably let everyone know. We'll work out the logistics and we'll look at that. I think we said spring 2022, all being well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if people are interested, I'd be glad to help out. I think anyone that has a smartphone, a tripod, and a microphone can create a video, and I think we could do that in the course of a few hours some morning. Edit it there in front of everybody, so they see the whole process from shooting the video, from scripting, shooting the video, editing, and getting ready for posting. And really, I know when I started out, I always felt there was all sorts of barriers. It's not. It's really simple, and I think if there was a handheld session there where people could see themselves how simple it is, it could be beneficial. If people are interested, I'm on board, no problem. So they might let them know if they are interested in stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'd say we definitely will, and I will send out all the details. Actually, one more question from Nikki. Can you recommend a microphone?
Yeah. Okay. So I use Rode now mostly. A Rode Video Mic Pro, and that's a good kind of all-round video mic to get started with. But if you're doing kind of interview pieces, or you have people speaking to camera, talking head kind of videos, invest in a little lapel mic. You can buy wired ones where you can run the cable directly to your camera, or you can buy wireless. The wireless kits tend to be a little bit more expensive, but obviously it's probably easier. You're not tethering someone to your camera. The big danger is when you have a cable going from somebody to the camera and they turn around to walk away there after forgetting about the mic, and they'll pull the camera down with them. Yeah. So the wireless kits, I think Rode do a very nice wireless kit now for maybe a couple of €100. Whereas the lapel mic just on its own, that's wired directly, probably 30 or 40 euro. But sound is so important. I can't stress it enough. Good lapel mic, or else use the video mic. But if you're recording somebody and you just have the video mic, maybe consider putting it on a tripod and getting closer to your subject, and you'll get nice, cleaner audio. The closer the mic is to your subject, the better the audio result. So simple things like that make a big difference. I wouldn't rely on the microphone, and any built-in camera microphone is crap comparison to something that you buy externally and you can point, and makes a big difference.
Yeah, massively. We shoot some videos in one of our offices, and it's on a very busy road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you definitely need a good mic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the questions we have. Actually, we have another comment from Brandon saying excellent presentation. Many thanks.
Brilliant.
That's all the questions that we have, and we're running out of time. But Dominic, thank you so much for your time. Really enjoyed that presentation, and I can tell everyone else did as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, and thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you being here. We'll send out a recording to everyone after this. Share it with your friends, and I'll also follow up probably sometime in the new year about potentially doing a follow-up workshop. So that'll be exciting. Thanks again, Dominic. Really appreciate your time.
No bother. Thanks everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.